Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in this set. This is going to be Romantic versus WFZ here on Amazonia. On the top right hand side of the map, we have WFZ spawning as the blue undead. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, where's my mouse? There it is. On the bottom left, we have Romantic spawning as the red human. This is going to be human versus undead, a matchup that I know fairly well and I know I gravitate towards just because I enjoy this so much. And we've lately been seeing a lot of Night Owl versus undead. So as soon as I saw this replay with two very well-known players, I just knew I had to cast it. No ratings in yet, so it could be a boring game or it could be an exciting game. Only time can tell. Now, as you guys are watching, I know it's a little bit premature, but go ahead and hit that like button for me. As of late, I haven't been getting that many views, so hopefully if I get more likes out there, and perhaps the people will be able to find me if they're looking for more WarCraft 3 content. Now, we are going to be looking at most likely, oh no, I was going to say an Archmage, but a Mountain King also makes sense. Mountain King as a primary hero against Undead really works out well because you don't really go for casters as a human player all that often. If you have a lot of slow or you go Inner Fire, two of the stronger spells in the arsenal of human players, you end up just feeding the Devourers, making them that much more difficult to attack and take down. Now, as I had covered in a previous matchup, Gargoyles then become a bit of an issue. Without Water Elementals and without an Archmage that can attack and slow down the Gargoyles just a little bit, Gargoyles do tend to become a problem. Riflemen are not a very strong counter, as ghouls will then surround them. You could try to go for flying machines, but flying machines generally fall apart to Gargoyles. And then you can also try for siege engines, but then siege engines are so specific that if there is all of a sudden a tech change, which is highly possible because Gargoyles are trained from the crypt, you don't really have a proper counter. Mountain King going to be able to creep out this creep camp pretty quickly, and the Death Knight making his way over. He wants to use a Death Coil steal, but I don't think he will be able to, especially with that Mountain King, as the Mountain King can Storm Bolt down any unit. Now, we do see a very relatively low hit point, well, now dead unit there, as the Rogue, oh my goodness, at the very start of this fight, a beautiful Storm Bolt onto the Death Knight, and now a force of a Scroll of Town Portal. A huge misstep by WFZ, as Romantic simply ignored everything else to try and put pressure onto that Death Knight. Now, the problem is that Death Knight does not have Unholy Aura yet and needs to fight on Blight to really regenerate any hit points. That means he's going to be staying in his neck of the woods, not putting that much pressure, and if the Mountain King can perhaps make something of it, like perhaps call to arms and set up an expansion here at the 6 o'clock location, he is going to be smelling like a rose. Mountain King coming down here to the 6 o'clock position, he may get to level 3 here, which would really put him in the lead with a level 2 Stormbolt, still going up against those ghouls who just generally melt in front of this Mountain King. Now, let's take a look at what's happening over here in this neck of the woods. WFZ is teching to tier 2, no telltale signs of going to Gargoyles yet, only one crypt, but we should be looking at perhaps some crypt fiends or ghouls being trained up. That is going to be one of the big signs. Meanwhile, skeletal minions are now making their way over. Can the Mountain King get the kill? I believe he did get that final shot off there, as the skeletal minions are really looking to try and take down these peasants. You can see that the peasants are rather smart here, but the peasants, oh, beautiful play. They're trying to hide. There goes another unit, and now another Rotted Necromancy charge, and now 4 more skeletons in this. Even though WFC, can this peasant make it inside? That's going to be the big question. No, he does not make it inside there, as the skeletal minions are still causing a bit of problems. The skeletal minions now trying to run back here. Let's take a look. Are we going to see another skeletal minion take down another peasant? Yes, we are. So WFZ is doing a good job, has gotten to level 2, and has really just used skeletal minions as a pressure tactic instead of trying to push in with the Death Knight, which is absolutely brilliant, as he is now regenerating hit points still while slowing down his opponent's expansion attempt. All right, Mountain King is at level 3, as I mentioned, with the Potion of Greater Mana. That Mountain King can cause a lot of problems. However, I believe a Nerubian Tower, nope, the Death Knight knows that the Mountain King is at level 3, is not going to allow him inside there. And that Mountain King, without a Potion of Invisibility, doesn't really have much he can do. All right, Tech to Black Citadel. If Romantic realizes that there's a Tech to Black Citadel, if he just runs in Storm Bolts to Acolytes, that would be a huge economic hit, either canceling the upgrade to tier 2, or, oh wow, can this peasant make it? That peasant saved by his brethren right there, as this one low hit point peasant now heading back to work. All right, the Skeletal Minions, perhaps knowing that their swords will cleave through a peasant here in just a moment, trying to hide around the corner. Is he going to be able to do that? No, the peasant knows or the Skeletal Minion knows exactly where he is, and another Skeletal Minion falls. Arcane Tower is now up, though. Mountain King is still down over here. And this is a big surprise. I'm surprised that the Mountain King didn't head over to a shop, pick up a Potion of Invisibility, and then try and put in a little bit of pressure here. That's not going to really work out, as Romantic ventures forth once the Lich is already out on the field. You can see the Tech to tier 2, Staff of Teleportation, unable to get ultimately to an Acolyte to Stormbolt, and now needs to head back home. All he really has to show is a lot of damage on a Mountain King with nothing else. All right, Death Knight and Lich, level 2, level 1 against a level 3 Mountain King. The Mountain King is really hoping to put some pressure onto the economy of WFZ, as we're coming across the 6-minute 40-second mark of this game. All right, the Skeletal Minions are just going to absolutely tear through this, and I think Romantic is just making some poor decisions. He doesn't realize that his opponent's army is this close to home, and with one Nerubian Tower here and this Black Citadel nearly done, there's not much that this Mountain King can really do. If he had perhaps just dropped the Dust of Appearance, picked up the Potion of Invisibility, used it, and then ventured in, he would have been able to take down 2, if not 3 Acolytes and really deal the damage that he was looking to do. Now he's just moving forward with a whole bunch of footmen here trying to take down a Nerubian Tower, and he has no business being in this fight now. Mountain King may end up getting taken down here. There's a Stormbolt. Mountain King now trying to get away. It looks like he will be able to do exactly that, since he does have Boots of Speed. However, another Frost Nova. Mountain King, Death Knight. There is the Scroll of Town Portal to head back home, but that was more of a desperation attempt than anything, as the Mountain King gonna use a Scroll of Regeneration, heal back up, but will probably force to try and use a second Scroll of Regeneration, since he is so low on hit points. Lich sitting at level 1 very comfortably, double Obsidian statues for the mana, and I think WFZ is just gonna have too much to throw at Romantic here. Romantic's army is at 46 over 54 compared to 38 over 40, but what is deceptive is the fact that there are so many peasants here and another Goblin Shredder. That is where the majority of the supply is located. The footmen now rushing on inside here. The army of the Undead not too far away again, should be able to just punish this and get even more kills. If the Death Knight can get to level 3 or the Lich can get to level 2, that would just be a huge deal there, as we can see another low hit point footman most likely going to get taken out, and there it goes, level 3 now on that Death Knight, as the Goblin Zeppelin picking up a couple of footmen, but now level 2 has been reached on that Lich, level 3 on that Death Knight. All right, Wand of Illusion, Death Knight down over here, has done a little bit of scouting. Meanwhile, Mountain King finishing off something off over here. Is he going to pick up another Scroll of Town Portal? There is the Scroll of Town Portal. There's the Potion of Invisibility that he needed to do about 3 minutes ago in order to clear out these Acolytes, but the Black Citadel will be able to instantly retrain them. It is no longer in the upgrade portion, so that's not going to be a problem. There's a Stormbolt there. There goes one Acolyte. Are we going to get some more damage? Oh, the Acolytes are coming off the line there. The Mountain King can just hide in that back corner, try to deny anything there, as we're looking at a whole bunch of towers being constructed. All right, so Romantic really hoping to go for the late game in order to finish things off here. The Mountain King now dropping some more Zeppelins here. It looks like the Goblin Zeppelin may end up getting taken down, so this is a one-way ticket into the base here. There's a Stormbolt taking down some more Acolytes, and I think that addition of the Goblin Zeppelin really caught WFZ off guard. He was not expecting the additional footmen to come inside there. Now we can see that it is really 0 bases to 2 as a Scroll of Town portal now coming back. Romantic, for all the mistakes he's made in the last couple of fights, he has really gotten into a good spot here if he can keep these guard towers and arcane towers from falling. The problem is, how is he going to be doing that, or how is he going to accomplish that at all, as the Mountain King now really needs to defend this expansion and make sure it stays up. All right, there is that meat wagon putting in a lot of pressure. The guard towers are simply too far away. I do not believe the masonry upgrade has even started, so that means what you see is what you get. No sudden influx of additional anything. A beautiful frost armor death coil in order to save a Crypt Fiend, but that Crypt Fiend is going to be stunned for 5 seconds. Mountain King, gets taken down. And the Mountain King was actually putting himself in harm's way in order to take down a Crypt Fiend, only to have himself getting taken down instead. WFZ has definitely turned the tables here, as we are looking at a fully mined Acolyte army. All right, 44 over 50 compared to 35 over 60, and that is the problem with the expansions. If you have a lot of expansions, you need to invest a lot of peasants into that expansion in order to make it pay off. That's the reason why, even though he was up on supply and couldn't really train that many more units, he still had a much smaller army that couldn't do all that much. And now with the pressure of the meat wagon adding in additional damage, things are just going to go from bad to worse. At this point, I would still think that Romantic is getting more gold than he is spending and repairing on this gold mine, but not by much, as we see a Stormbolt go down onto a Death Knight, but not gonna really do much of anything. Mountain King has enough for perhaps one more Stormbolt, and then may use that Potion of Greater Mana. That's exactly what he needs to do here, as all the peasants working overtime to try and save this town hall. Footmen now rushing, not sure where they're going to be going. You can see the damage is starting to rack up just a little bit more. There goes the town hall. Mountain King does have a Potion of Greater Mana. They were trying to focus down the meat wagon from the back, but it's not going to work, as the Death Knight gonna finish off a footman here, and I believe that is gonna be the GG. Mountain King uses a Potion of Greater Mana, finally using it, but not much to show for it, as we see Romantic losing game 1 in this series. Now, taking a look at the score, you can see that Romantic actually had a much higher score because of the additional resources. He just was unable to use that additional gold for anything other than repair cost and peasants. That's really what it ultimately boiled down to. The army size, units produced 39. I think largest army was 49 compared to 46. Add in an extra 8 to 10 supply for all of those workers, and you see why WFZ took victory over Romantic. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.